know we were definitely gonna fuck. We were gonna fuck. But we had just made out at that point, and then Joey comes up into what space we were in. But it wasn't like, oh shit, he knows. It was more of like, oh well, damn, I don't want to have to involve him, and like, but I just wanted it to be me and Matthew. And so it was like, I hid.
So he knew about it and was chill?
Yeah, it was like, or he was like, he would have been. Like, it wasn't like a, oh no.
But it wasn't, it was like, not he's mad, and also not he wants to cook himself.
Yeah, like I didn't want him to, I just wanted to like go off and do, like I didn't want him involved. I just wanted to go fuck Matthew.
And did you?
No. I didn't get to that point. And I did that thing where like you wake up before the dream's over and then you try to go back to the dream. And I'm just like,
I love doing that.
I never succeed, but I'll just spin my wheels.
Girl, this audio sounds
sexual.
Extra.
Well, we're extra, especially today. Well, I feel extra depleted.
Listen, I feel like before, if we were drinking something, we put it in like a koozie and be like, we're not doing that. Y'all, I'm having a peach White Claw, okay? It's happening.
They are our sponsor.
I'm not going to show the...
Do I need to turn it down? Are we too loud?
I don't know. I'm not normally this loud, but it's also, I feel like it's a lot.
Yeah, let me just...
Adjust.
Yeah, just a notch. You want to start with...
Do I want to start with some ASMR? Hello? That feels the same. If I'm being 100. Hello? Yeah, that feels, less. Yeah.
It's good?
It's not as much as it was before.
Because all I played with was what it sounds like to us. I didn't touch the volume of the mic.
I don't know how to comprehend that information.
The audio, like we have volume control for what it sounds like to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have volume control for what's being recorded. And all I did was turn down what it sounds like in here.
I'm cool with that.
Okay. Because I can play with the audio and edit.
I trust your judgment here. I feel like
we're just doing it.
I feel like normally you are more clear and louder than I am, but I feel like there's some sort of something about my voice that lends itself to being like it's my glottal fry.
I want to see you.
I learned it in my voice and diction class that like that it's called glottal fry.
Glottal.
Do you
Is that
remember
a real word?
Glottal fry? Yeah, it's a diction term. Do you remember when the Murdoch trial thing was happening and that Mandy, whatever the fuck, that had that podcast?
Yes. Yeah, Mandy Matney. I still look at her ex or
she
Twitter
got
account.
hella shit when she started that podcast because of the tone. She has the same thing.
Yeah.
And people gave her absolute hell.
No, they bullied her.
Yeah. But that's a real thing. I have that.
Yeah. Do I have it?
No.
I have something.
No. I mean, sure.
Mushmouth. You used to call me Mushmouth. Not call me that, but you used to say I have it.
No, you're fine. You're great. Anyways, let's get into it. Mandy Matney.
Mandy Matney shouts out.
Yeah, I have the same thing that you have, Mama.
She's about to, if she hasn't already got some money, she's about to have some money because aren't they doing like a Hulu show? Yeah, based on her book or something. Yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to chug this while you talk.
Okay.
Because I don't want to mess with it the whole time. We were going to start with something.
Oh, I was just going to talk about, I think I already did though. I don't.
But just in case that front part doesn't work.
I'm just about to enter, I need an incubation
Yeah,
period.
you're going through it right now.
Yeah. I'm intaking way too much content, information, all kinds of stuff. I would say the epicenter has been, for this week, has been the UAP hearing.
Yeah. But that's just one piece of a lot of it.
Yeah.
You've been getting in.
Yeah. And I don't even want to get into all of it because it's just exhausting and I'm already exhausted. So I feel like I'd fucking pass out.
Do you want, because you did speak about it last episode though, do you want to at least like.
The UAP thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll talk about the hearing, just the hearing.
Okay. I'm listening.
Okay, so the committee that met, the Congress committee that met, it was on Tuesday. They heard from 4 UAP like testimony witness people that came forward to speak on the issue about disclosure. And it was
I have one quick question.
Yeah.
The hearing, who is hearing it? Like, what was it?
Okay, so Congress has, like, I guess they break themselves into like these little committees. I don't remember the name for this one. It has to do with like, I don't even want to guess because I don't know.
Okay.
But Congressman Nancy Mace was the head of this committee. She's a South Carolina representative.
Okay. So it's like any of those other, they're speaking to Congress.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're in that building where they sit like in those stadium seats, and then they sit in those like that one table, that long table in front of them.
Okay.
And it was 4 people, 4 men. It was the Admiral Ryan Gaudet, something like that, Gaudet. And he was like an actual, like he had an experience while on duty in the Navy. So he was speaking solely on that and how it was handled after the experience and how it was kind of like pushed under the rug, and like some footage or emails about it got deleted. So he's like, what's going on? Like, why are we doing that? Why is that being hidden? If something's going on, like clearly why, if there isn't something going on, why is there a need to hide it?
Yeah.
Then that Luis Elizondo guy, who was also did some sort of government military type shit job, and he wrote a book about it, about working his job. I don't even know if I can talk about it.
It's okay.
Okay. Anyways, so he was there. And then the third guy was a journalist named Michael Schellenberger.
Okay.
I can't remember who he writes for or if he's independent. But he had a whistleblower come forward with documents pertaining to something called Project Immaculate Constellation that I spoke about last time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was there, and then the 4th person was this guy from NASA. Forgot his first name, but his last name was Gold, Mr. So I was just thinking
Mr. Gold.
Mr. Gold.
Okay,
Yeah.
hard.
Nothing was revolutionary that came out of it.
Okay.
Really. I mean, no
They're
hard
presenting
evidence.
Like
not really.
So,
it was no hard evidence. It was more of like hearsay. The thing that they're trying to do, in my opinion, there may be like outliers with this initiative, but it seems like there is some sort of cohesive initiative to get Congress to look into it. Like
okay.
that's
so
the
more.
step.
It's like I'm more presenting like, hey, this is a thing, and y'all should spend some time looking into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they don't even really, whether they can say or don't say, the information is, whoever is like in control of keeping it under wraps about just technology and like where we've come with that and da. I think they can't even say that. They can't even say where it's coming from, whether they can't or they don't, or they're speculating, or they have no fucking clue. So all they're doing is like, this needs to be, we got to look into this, but they don't even know where to tell Congress to go. And I think like that's like, we're not there. I don't know what step is next when that is the step, if you don't know where to go for the information. So it seems to me, I don't know if I think there's going to be another hearing in front of another committee or something to do with Congress next month. So soon.
So it's more of asking them to use the resources that they have to look into it further, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
There were some, I want to say, I feel like there were some comments made that alluded to maybe looking into the executive branch.
Okay.
So that doesn't necessarily mean the president or the president's office. It could mean was the CIA and
or just people that have a little bit more
that
actionary power.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So
okay,
that's about it.
So it was unproductive.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes and no. I feel like it had like it.
All right. So if
Just-
you had
just-
one takeaway,
If I'm,
what would it be?
I don't know.
I'm gonna okay. All right. I'm gonna pretend like I'm an English teacher again. Okay.
Okay.
So
Again.
never stopped. Wait, if you had to do like a summarizing sentence of that whole thing,
Okay.
like you watched it. All right. Now tell me what you learned. Like what?
Okay. So the problem I'm having with doing that is that I have been reading on my own and researching on my own.
Okay. We'll separate all that from the hearing itself.
Just the hearing alone.
Because none of us are absorbing as much information about that as you are. So if
Period.
and I still you told me the thing happened. I was like, oh shit, bitch, let me get into it. I was like, send me the link. And I meant I said send links. And I should not have been plural. Because I meant send me the link to the hearing. And this bitch is like, all right, first you gotta read this, and then you gotta look at this, and and then my phone's like, and I'm like,
Party till I die to the.
I'm like, I love you so much. I'm not gonna look at any of this. Don't have the brain space for that.
Well, they kept.
Which maybe if I do have sleeping problems, and so maybe in
There
the
you
middle of
go.
the night I might get into it.
Yeah.
But just at 4:00 on a random afternoon, I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Get to it, girl. Well, they kept that Immaculate Constellation thing. There was a document that was kept being referenced and handed up in the air like.
But still,
Okay, I know.
Okay,
I know my takeaway.
UAP for Dummies hearing summary sentence go.
It has nothing to do with UAP. I mean, indirectly it could, but it doesn't. My takeaway. My takeaway from the UAP hearing is that the government is going through a transition.
Okay.
I haven't exactly wrapped my head around exactly what that transition is, but when you hear a congressperson, talking about Nancy Mace, refer to another congressperson as babe
In the hearing?
in the hearing, it literally did exactly what you just did. It perked my ears up. And I think that they're trying to become cool and or distance themselves from the old government, like the old gate. I don't know how else to say it. And they're, yeah. And I think they're
big business right now.
and I think they're using the UAP thing to do that.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah. So
We're gonna table that and circle back.
okay.
No, yeah.
I don't have more to say about it, so we'll just leave it.
Yeah.
We will table it for that.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Babe.
Talk about it later, babe. In other current events.
I swear I was going to look.
I swear.
I'm telling you, they were going to pan over to her and she's going to be fucking hitting somebody's vape pen. I'm not kidding you. That's how it felt.
Moon and the stars in the sky. You remember that song?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Sorry. I'm telling you these mics, I'm ready for my music career. That's part of it. Don't worry, everybody.
That's the percussion.
Anyway, in other current events, and I don't want to get too deep into this either because it feels like fodder. It all feels like fodder.
Mm-hmm.
But the fucking Mike Tyson bullshit. So I like boxing, and I'm going to be really honest with you. There is a part of me that I don't know how to exactly say it, but I feel the need to defend Jake Paul because so many people hate him. And I feel like people dismiss what, the impact he has, or even his brother too. I know less about his brother, but both of them obviously have that level of acumen of how to get people's attention, regardless of how you're doing it.
Yeah.
So you do have to have a somewhat of a finger on the pulse of something. And it's very trolly.
Mm-hmm.
He feels a little bit like a troll. But even that said, I don't know. I feel like I've been this way ever since I was a little kid. Like I was always friends with the people that like no one paid attention to or that everyone hated or bullied or whatever. So as soon as someone gets that much like,
even when you were a teacher,
yeah,
those students, I felt like you were.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I'm like, there's a misunderstanding. Like you could, if you're spending that much energy hating somebody, it's for a fucking reason. They're doing something that is provocative, and I think it's like that provocative nature. I'm like, what are you like? What is this? So I've obviously been aware that this fight is going to happen and it was prolonged or whatever, but I've went in and got enough information about it for me to come to an understanding. And I debated so many people last week about how this was going to fucking play out, and everybody, and I love Mike Tyson just as much as everybody else does. Okay. He's like a big figure in our lifetime or whatever that's done hella shit. I'm not dismissing that at all, but it does nothing to his career for him to lose or win or whatever. But neither one of them. So they both got money. It's fucking stupid. First of all, it was an exhibition fight. Like it was what it was. They already made their money. And so you could see that like their heart wasn't in it. They danced around. It was the most boring fight I've ever seen in my fucking life.
All I know that I heard that Netflix was having issues.
Girl, this
with
was like, I think the first live event that Netflix has done.
No, they've done others. I think they did comedy. Didn't they do like wasn't Joe Rogan's thing live?
Well, maybe, but not.
Yeah.
This had
Not
a
to this
wider
caliber.
audience. They
Yeah.
were not ready
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
The buffering and pixelation on this shit was fucking ridiculous. And
There's got to be more cameras involved.
There
with
was
that
even,
too.
that was kind of nostalgic. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck, it's 2002, bitch. I'm watching this on fucking LimeWire, like Napster or some shit. I got my fucking little illegal document going on. I don't know. There was something to it. I tried to appreciate that. Like people were mad about it or whatever, but to me, it was telling of like, they were not ready for how many eyeballs were on that. But I called that fight. I called it.
What do you mean you called it?
I specifically kept
Who won?
arguing with people that it was going to be Jake Paul on decision.
Okay.
And so many people argued with me that it wasn't. I tried to place monetary bets and I don't have money to do that. I tried to wager days off at work. I tried to wager other things and nobody wanted any part of that because people cannot handle the idea of him winning.
Wait, what did you say? You said winning on decision. What does that mean?
So they do, like, I knew that they were going to do all 8 rounds because if there's that many people watching, it's not going to be a knockout.
Okay.
Because if you knock out first, second round, then it's over with.
Yeah.
And I knew that neither one of them would do that. So they're going to play all 8 rounds.
Yeah.
And then they're like whoever people that like decide the points or whatever. I knew that it would come down to like technical shit.
Okay.
How many punches were landed or like whatever type shit. And it would be such a tight thing. I was told so many people that Mike Tyson was going to knock him out.
Oh, okay.
I heard some vague people that said Jake Paul would knock out Mike Tyson because he's knocked out some people, but
easily. Like, what are they saying when they say knockout? Does that mean like it was an easy fight? If someone
no, like
knocks
literally
out
knock them out. Like
Oh,
you
okay.
punch them and they're down.
Okay.
Because the fight's over after that.
Okay.
You win by KO, like it's done.
Yeah.
And I knew that wasn't going to be the case because it's not, you lose the duration of eyeballs on your shit that you're making money from if somebody gets knocked out. This was obviously like a viewership, money exhibition. We're trying to get as much eyeballs on this as possible.
Yeah.
And I knew there wouldn't be a knockout. And I knew that it doesn't make sense for Mike Tyson to win. And that is something that really upset people when I said it.
Why?
I don't know, because people they fucking hate Jake Paul. And like, I can't deal with the YouTube fucking win.
So they're biased. They're biased.
And so they think that and again, like, I even got into it with my boo last night while we were watching this shit because he was like, "Why don't you fucking suck his dick then?" And I'm like, I don't want to fuck him. It's not even about sexual desire. I cannot deal with people hating someone for such stupid reasons whenever that person is presenting reasons to not be hated.
Yeah.
It just bothers me.
I don't like when it makes people irrational. Like when their
Yes,
bias makes
you
them,
lose logic.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And so I'm just like, look at what's happening. And because this kid is like a fucking troll. There's a point during this fight where he like and I kept saying like, look at his technique, look at his approach. And it was like, that's not a technique, that's an approach. I'm like, it's the way he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He's open bodied the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mike is like this.
Mm-hmm.
He's like doing the like this.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake is like fully open. At one point he's like, like literally shook his tongue at him, just like taunting him and dancing around, like making it hard. And it was like, yeah, sure, he's exhausting. Like the whole thing was fucking fake. Let's be real.
Yeah. Do you think that the fighters sit down to have what do you want to happen? What do I want to happen? Let's make this happen. Like do they build the fight together beforehand?
So here's the thing. I'm not going to waste my time hypothesizing that much about it. I do think there is some preconceived
Conversations.
things. I do think a lot of fights like that are scripted.
Yeah.
I think even like genuine toe-to-toe fights, people get paid off in the beginning, like take this knockout, take this L, whatever, and they get paid outside of it. I think that happens a lot. I think that sport is very corrupt, just like many others.
Yeah.
I would
It's
argue
not
that
the only one for sure.
football is like that. There's so many. But boxing, I feel like, is a little, because there's only two people doing it, there's more room to play with it. But you can pre-script all that. But when it comes down into the ring, if I say, fuck it, I can still fucking do whatever.
Yeah.
So there's like a riskiness to it all.
Yeah.
So they did, even though I would argue that that was predetermined,
Yeah.
there was like a part of me that's like, I hope they say fuck it and somebody does some weird ass shit. I didn't want to be right.
Yeah.
This is boring.
Yeah.
If you're winning by decision, then it's just like the whole time, and then it's like technicalities or whatever.
And that's it.
But because you could just look at the statistics, longer reach, like taller, younger, more stamina, whatever. And again, I'm not speaking shit on Mike Tyson, but also they want to talk all this shit about Jake Paul being, oh, he's a YouTuber. Mike Tyson had a whole entire fucking rape case.
Damn.
And everybody just like, it's cool.
He's grandpa. Like they just think of him like I'm a sweet old grandpa that would bite.
But like we love to hate people. Like what? Yes.
Okay.
So he's like full on savage, crazy as shit.
Yeah.
Just because he's been around, like I get it. He's an old head. Like I'm not. I will defend both of them. Like I understand. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But if Jake wins, then it gives boxing more of a chance for all these young people to be putting their eyeballs on it. It's better for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
Yeah.
Because he has a chance to actually now become an actual boxer. Mm-hmm. Because I think a lot of the fights he was doing, it was just bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's not like being legit. So it's like all these boxing purists and like people who are like so pro boxing are so against it. But I feel like now he's like trying to prove himself or whatever. But then this whole thing became more of a money grab. Yeah. Mike is 58. Mm-hmm. His career's over. He's not going to keep boxing.
Right.
Whereas this kid has an actual chance to do it.
Right.
And like put asses in seats. And Mike Tyson has even said that about himself. Like, you can talk whatever shit you want, but he's putting asses in seats.
Yeah.
And isn't that what you ultimately want?
Right. Right.
They broke Netflix.
Yeah. Well, that's just, it's to me, that shows the strength or like the length that like influencers have on media nowadays, because I've seen the same thing with like celebrity poker happening. Yes. So I feel like these more like obscure or like alternative sports, like that influencers can get a foot in, even if they've never had experience. Now there's all these people watching poker because of fucking H3 and YouTube and shit. Yes. Yeah. And so you can be mad that somebody figured out how to monetize making internet content. Yeah. Because you're whatever, you don't have the. But that's where we're going, baby. That's where we're at. Yeah. Look at what the fuck we're doing. Yeah. So and again, like I'm not doing this shit to make money. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not trying to go viral or anything like that. Oh, with this?
Yeah.
Oh, bitch.
But I'm saying like
we're gonna anyway.
But you can't, like, we're in a different realm. Yeah. It was just like going back to that thing you said with the UAP. Like we're in a moment of transition. Like shit that used to be is not. Mm-hmm. And society is changing in an exponential way that people aren't ready for. They don't like that. Like upsets them. Like, how dare a fucking YouTuber beat a fucking seasoned boxer? Blah, blah, blah. First of all, it shits. Come on. But also, so what if he does?
Yep.
Is that so provocative to you that it
Mhm.
breaks down everything that you know to be true and you just can't fucking deal with it?
Let's
Like
hope
you're
not.
you're that fucking stubborn and solidified as a human where you just cannot accept that.
Mm.
But people love to hate him and he knows it.
Mm.
And in a certain way, there's like a anarchy or something to that I really fuck with.
Yeah. Just get used to it, bub.
And it is what it is. People
Mhm.
fucking hate him, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But the more people hate him, the more I'm like, what you doing over there, bro? Like, why? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because you got to be doing something to make people hate you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Hate's very
this
close
is a
to
fucking
love.
hot take.
Yeah.
Another person that I feel that way about is Martha Stewart. I just watched that documentary
I
about
want
her.
to watch that. I haven't.
I'll fuck with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an asshole. So, like, I'm not even gonna get in that. Watch it. We can talk about it next
Yeah, 'cause I
episode.
haven't seen it.
But she has weathered the storm.
Mhm.
She ain't going fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And I fuck with people like that. Like, there's some resilience to it. I don't know. Say what you want, but
No. And like you said, hate's a strong thing. Like that. What you doing? And it's like I said, it's close to love. Like, hey, you can't have
the opposite of
yeah.
love is indifference. Hate is still closer to love than
Yes, exactly.
because y'all looking at it. Why are you looking at it? Because you want to see that kid's ass get
Yeah.
beat.
My dad.
Do you know how many?
Speaking of hate,
Yeah.
no, you finish yours.
No, I was just gonna say, I would be willing to bet that the majority of people that logged in and stayed up all night long to watch that shit were doing so with hopes to see Jake Paul's ass get beat.
Yeah.
And I love that they didn't get what they wanted.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a troll in me, but here we are. Anyways, Tommy.
Shouts out Tommy.
Tom.
Yeah, I showed him. We went out to eat the other night, and I wanted them to see how I wanted them to see how good the podcast sounds.
Yeah.
I wanted them to hear it.
Yeah.
And
You need to listen. Like, you need to watch how good it sounds.
yeah, it's so good. Look
at how good it sounds.
And I don't know how I ended up where I ended up on the video, but I think it was where I left off watching it. I pulled it up on my TV, and it was the part at the end of last episode where we were talking about voting, and I said something like, fuck your parents, fuck your coworkers, fuck yourself, something like that. And he just the anger that came out of my
He had
father,
a visceral reaction.
like
to
he
that.
like stood up out of the chair and he was like, I just don't know why you have to talk like that. Like, he was like so upset about the language I was using.
All right, I have questions.
Yeah.
Do you think it was specifically the language, or like if you were a boy, do you think he would be as mad? Do you think he has more of a problem because it's coming out of his daughter, who's supposed to be like
Yeah.
demure and not crass?
He would still have an issue with it, but I don't think that is a part of it.
Okay.
That's definitely a part of it.
Yeah.
The intensity of it.
Yeah,
But
I
I
get
still think
that.
he'd
That's
be
my
upset.
mind read, is that there
Yeah.
has definitely something to do with the fact that
Yes.
you're a woman.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just don't understand how when I say they, I'm talking about my parents, maybe boomers altogether. I don't think all boomers though, but how they see language, like they give it the power it has. Like, if you don't make those words have meaning, like, then they don't have meaning. Like, so why do you want those words to be bad? Like, why do you want there to be like sinful or bad words?
I'm going to counteract what you're saying. I don't think it's just a boomer thing.
Yeah.
I think the younger generations get lost in words too, because there's all these like phrases to describe shit, and they're mad about how you describe things and the verbiage you use. And all. I think that's a human thing.
Yeah.
But I will say this, as a person who is obsessed with words, I think it might eventually be a lost art.
Speaking?
Just the words, like it's causing more, like at some point we acquired this skill to be able to understand each other, but it's causing more misunderstanding than understanding at this point. And I think that we might move to a point where we don't use our mouths anymore and we become telepathic. And I think that will become I think it'll allow us to understand each other better because it'll be
Yeah.
less filtered.
Yeah.
Like if I could just hear your thoughts and you could hear mine, it would be
Yeah.
more authentic and we could get past the bullshit of it coming out of our mouths and through our ears.
What does our podcast look like?
Don't get lost in the sauce on what I'm saying. I don't think it's gonna take a minute.
I know. I'm just saying.
I know I've realized what I just said is fucking ridiculous, but I genuinely believe
I
it.
wholeheartedly believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to lean into that though, the F you and it makes me think that's just F you, the fuck you. It makes me think of Chelsea and Paige and their podcast when they go, they wait for the 10 minutes are over.
Yeah.
And they give a good old
fuck you. I love it.
I do too. They've got it.
It's so cathartic.
Yeah, we're going to.
I can't wait to do it in person.
I know. What do they do it in person?
They do.
Okay.
They do.
Okay. Yeah, we're going Tuesday, right?
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that they've said that people get the most hyped about.
Of course. I love that. And so we saw Chelsea in Nashville last year or 2 years ago.
I don't know. Time is a
sometime we did
a
in
blob.
the past. And we took those.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago because you were pumping milk.
Breast milk.
You were.
Like before the show, we went.
Yeah.
In our Airbnb, that was like
you were pumping milk
in that attic house.
Yeah.
That place was so cool.
You had to pump and dump so you could drink.
And on the way there to Nashville, you made we came up with like little beaded bracelets to give them.
Y'all, we were so ahead of the curve on that. I really hate that became a Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say we were ahead of it because it's been a thing.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the rave kids had a fucking grip on that. That was some 90s shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like became dormant in that one culture. And then Taylor Swift was like,
Yeah.
But anyway, we did that.
She's so smart.
What?
Her whole team is so smart.
I don't know. If I can't, maybe I feel about her how people feel about Jake Paul.
Yes.
But she's nice and soft and whatever. Like, be a troll.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she'll have her troll era.
I don't know. Anyway, I can't talk about that. I'm gonna get mad. But anyway, we made bracelets for those nerds.
Yeah. Do we want to do anything like that this time?
I don't know. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, I don't either. We'll just see if something happens.
Yeah.
I'm excited though.
Yeah, me too.
Easter's coming.
Yeah. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah. Anywho.
Any hoosers.
Moving right along. Anything sparking your brain right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I texted you the other day. I was in the bathtub and I was like, I have all this stuff that I want to talk to you about. And one of them, I texted you smooth forehead versus wasted time. And I just want to speak to like, and I don't know if this is specifically a female thing. And based on my understanding of how men's brains work, I think for the most part, they don't worry about the same shit we do.
Mm-hmm. Or worry the same way even.
It's both.
Yeah.
But like, I was just sitting there thinking like, I feel like females, like we look back at pictures of ourselves and we're like, oh my God. Like you always feel like gross and fat, for example. And you look at pictures of yourself when you were younger and you're like, oh my God, I was so hot back then. And even then I felt disgusting. And it's like 10 years before that, it's like, oh my God, I'm so gross. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like all this wasted time feeling gross. When like years later you look back and you're like, fuck, I looked good. Like, why the fuck did I do that with myself? And that's so dumb.
Yeah.
And such wasted energy.
Yeah.
And I feel like I came to this realization for a multitude of reasons when I was at Halloween.
Okay.
And I like the flesh bag thing, like the bodies that we're in is something that I have always struggled with. And I genuinely think I have body dysmorphia. And I don't understand it, but I do think that in my healing process, I'm getting past that because I'm realizing it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Do you think, does anyone not have body dysmorphia?
I don't know.
Because my thing is, we're not supposed to be in these. Or okay, no. We are supposed to be in these bodies, but it's not our true essence. So how if
It's not okay. So I don't disagree with you. It's not our true essence, but I feel like society has put so much emphasis on our physical form and finding worth in that. Like you're valued, and I think it's way worse for women, or more like.
So who can't grapple with that? Because if it's part of our reality, but it's in direct.
Yeah.
Not direct conflict with what we really are.
Because it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like who you are at your core, and like if you think about how fleeting existence is and how fast life is, that shit does not fucking matter.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking specifically, I'm like, as a woman, I'm 41, I'm aging, whatever. And I feel like as you start to lose your perceived societal like viability, like I'm getting to the point where I can't have babies for you, sorry. So like my worth is different in society, as it's different. And I feel like when I was younger and I walked around the world, there was like a certain response that people would give me because it's like, maybe I can procreate with this person. It's very animalistic. And I feel like as females age, we want to cling to that, and it's stupid. And I'm not here for it. And even like with the dyeing of hair and shit like that, like I embrace my gray hair. It is what it is. Like, and I feel like we are inundated with all like these women, and I'm not trying to be a woman hating woman. I'm not, but women care about this more than men. We are doing this to each other. Men don't give a fuck. They don't. They just don't. And if they do, I think there might be something wrong with them. Or either that, or they're not into it. Like they don't want to. I really don't want to bring sexuality into it, but
it's a hard thing not to bring into it when you're talking
it
about
is.
your bodies.
But I feel like if you actually want to
to
fuck a woman, you don't care what she looks like.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it becomes biological. It becomes animalistic. And I'm not saying that people don't care what people, obviously there is a physical thing that you're attracted to. I'm not saying that, but there's a lot less discrimination and biases and whatnot, biases, whatever, if you're actually trying to fuck than if you're not. Because if you're not, then you're looking at a lot of different other shit.
Yes.
And that is why women are so fucking toxic with each other. And we are holding each other to these bullshit standards. But like these fucking women that are getting all this shit done to their faces, like actresses and celebrities and stuff, so that they can still get work and whatever, because apparently that's what society wants. It's fucked up. Because you're not even emoting. Like, I don't know how you feel. Your face isn't fucking moving. Like, you have the same face for if you're angry, you're sad, you're heartbroken, you're taking a shit. Like, it's all the same thing. And it's confusing. And I was thinking, like, just the other day, because I was just like in the bathtub vibing or whatever, and I'm like scrolling, and like Instagram really thinks that I need, like, if you looked at my fucking, like the advertisements that pop up, it's like, this is the wrinkliest, baldest bitch ever, because all of her hair is falling out and she needs shit to make her hair grow.
Like on your For You page? Like what's on your For You?
No. I'm saying like when you scroll through your stories
feed.
or your feed, and there's those advertisements that come in there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it'll happen when you go outside of it, of like looking at certain shit on Amazon or Google or whatever, it'll start putting that stuff in. But I'm telling you, the amount of hair growth and wrinkle, like forehead wrinkle mitigation products, like who fucking cares? Like how much like literally how much time am I going to waste worrying about how wrinkled my skin is or not?
Do you ever, when you get those ads, do you ever like, I think you can like do some kind of settings when they pop up, like block it.
I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it, and I'm like the time that you waste worrying about shit that does not fucking matter in the least is wild. It's wild. And I feel like it's happening more and more and more and more and more. And we're fed all this bullshit to make us focus on stuff that couldn't matter less. Because fucking skin. And I think about it like this wrinkle right here in between my eyebrows
Mhm.
is something I've been self-conscious about for years.
Mhm.
And even like the smoothness of my forehead's not smooth. It's just not.
Mhm.
But I just have really bad acne. Like
Mhm.
up until my mid-30s. I took Accutane in my
Yeah,
30s.
I remember that.
And it was like I struggled with that my entire life. Like I had
Mhm.
fucking full-on acne since I was like 12 until I was like 35.
Mhm.
And it was torturous and psychologically damaging, and it was rough. Like I spent so much time worrying about that to where I missed out on so much other shit
Yeah.
because I'm like, people don't like me because I'm gross, or like
Mhm.
I can't be even like, people aren't going to want to be around me because my skin doesn't look a certain way. And I'm like, that is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I like, it just like really occurred to me the other day, like the amount of time I have spent worrying about the skin specifically on my face. Like I've definitely worried about other parts of my body as well, but specifically my face, because it's like what you present with.
Mhm.
I'm like, fuck that. If someone doesn't want to fuck with me because of how my face looks, get the fuck away from me.
Right.
Like,
Right.
go away.
Right. And on the same coin of that, how do you feel about fucking with someone that only wants to fuck with you because of your face?
Fuck that too.
Mm-hmm. So.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, I don't know. I don't know if this is like, this is something I've been thinking about too. Like, I feel like a lot of interactions that we have with other people are based, like, I feel like if I wasn't a woman, well, this is stupid. Obviously, if I wasn't a woman, I'd have a very different experience.
Yeah.
But the way people interact with females is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, first, like, do I want to fuck you or not?
Yeah.
You're always leading with that.
That on the UAP Congress hearing thing, that Luna, Congressman Luna, I don't even know her name, and then that Lauren Boebert or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Do you know, are their faces coming to your mind at all?
Mm-mm.
They, again, that whole idea of like government becoming like cool and trendy and whatever, they both are like pillow faced fucking, or pillow lip bitches, pillow faces. They're pillow faces. And that you want to fuck. I guess men want to fuck, or people want to fuck. And like the comments, like I went on to like Reddit and like was reading about like what people thought about the hearing. Like so many were just about the physical
Of how they look.
and not about anyone else, but just those two women. And Nancy Mace a little bit, but the women that were part of it, it was just about like how fuckable they are.
Even that fight last night, it's like these two bitches, the woman fight that happened was fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
And they were throwing so many punches, and like in it, you could feel the heart. It was a grudge fight. It was this, it was that. But like before it, there's these like women in the ring that are wearing, I don't know if like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are there, but they're like ring bitches, these other women.
Yeah.
And they're just like these like tits up to here.
Yeah.
Like their tits look like somebody fucking pumped them up before the shit started. Their lips are like like these like the Fibonacci sequence is so off on their face to where I could not even absorb them as actual humans.
Yeah.
So much Botox, filler, like everything is just like like you look like a fucking blow up doll.
Yeah.
And like I can't. That's like what if any like and no like if listen, I know we have a lot of listeners, but if any, like, fuck you. If that's what you're into, then fuck you. Go get a sex doll because you do not want to fuck humans.
Yeah.
And these women that are getting this shit done, because those girls were young, they were definitely in their 20s. Like, what are you doing?
What is their job when they go out into the middle? I've always wondered that. They hold up something. What do they hold up?
Well, a lot of times they'll hold up like round signs or whatever.
Why did they need to do that anymore?
They don't, because, and they didn't. They didn't do that because it was on the outside of the ring, the little thing that showed what round it was. But it's just because you have to like, you have to have some sex appeal or people aren't interested.
But there's not, and it's not just basic sex appeal. It's women. It's sexualizing women.
And it's like
there's no men out in Speedos doing that.
I mean,
there was?
Mike Tyson did wear a Versace thong ahead of time.
Okay, I would have watched that.
But I don't think that has anything to do with what you're saying.
Okay. No. He at least has some kind of, he's doing something.
Because
and he's
even
not just
go
holding
to
a card.
cut to, if you looked at the statistical differences between tits, bare tits in movies versus, or vagina, even full frontal vagina, you will see more of that than you will see dicks and balls all fucking day long.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes me think of the movie I watched last night. Crystal Fairy and the Magical Cactus.
Yeah,
You gotta watch it.
I'm gonna.
I cannot believe it came out. I don't know. I think like 2012-ish, because she references that the end of the world's gonna happen in 2012 with the Mayan calendar
Yeah.
thing. But her tits and bush are out and ass, or she's like naked. Like
Are there
most of the
any
movie.
dicks in the movie?
Yeah, not near it. Like, where were the dicks? Maybe not. Maybe not.
And here's the thing.
Oh wait, there was a man getting penetrated by her because she was like a dominatrix, and Michael Cera's character finds, spoiler alert, Michael Cera's character finds like photographs in her like little art journal of her like pegging a man. It's a good movie.
I have so many thoughts on this. And I'd like to revisit it,
Okay.
but I would like to just say there's two things I want to say. Number one, I had an experience recently because women pull out their titties a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say where I was or who it was, but I was somewhere recently.
Do they? I don't put mine out.
I'm not talking about you.
Just women in general.
There is more of a chance of you seeing tits out in the world than you seeing a dick.
Absolutely. Hopefully.
I feel weird about that. So
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, good.
So I was somewhere recently,
yeah.
and someone was also at this place and walked to, it was a bar, and they walked up to the end of the bar and just pulled out their whole dick and balls. And it was
Shut up.
it was like 8 or 9 o'clock in that evening. It wasn't the time of day that you would think that you'd see such things.
What time of day would you think you'd
Like 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Maybe.
Somebody like, ooh,
We
reckless.
wow,
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
my dick and balls. It wasn't like that.
Okay.
And the confidence in this human that just walked up and just like, I was like, what the fuck? I will never forget it. It was one of the greatest moments of my life. Like, fuck yes, more of that. But it's like, I feel like no one agrees with me on that.
I don't know. It sounds like a situation you got to be there. I reserve. I don't want to judge or assume or.
I just feel like
What that would-
I just
would've
feel like
been
there's such inconsistencies with like how we treat men and women and what's appropriate and what matters and like
Yeah.
sexual worth and that kind of thing. It's just
Yeah.
there's such a disparity with that shit, and it really bothers me. And all that said, I don't even know if I'm making sense.
You are. Like we've twisted and used our bodies to make money, and because of that greed, it has twisted our like just our understanding of what like our genitalia is. Like it should be just when the guy or the person that pulled out the penis at the bar, like it should be that's your penis. Like it doesn't have to be funny. It can be, especially how they pull it out. But it doesn't have to be like, and even when a woman like shows her tits, like it doesn't have to be like, ooh, titties, honk honk, like, you know, like the trickers and the flashing and whatever. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, you're just doing that because you're having a moment of like not having inhibition, because we would all prefer to be naked.
Yes. So that.
But it's like, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to.
No, I don't even know where I was going with it. I just feel like we need to get back to that. Like that's a penis. Like there doesn't have to be any preconceptions with it.
It doesn't have to be like sexually monetized.
Yes.
And I feel like there's a dichotomy within our culture too. And I will speak specifically on the American culture because it's like, you can't talk about sex. It's so fucking taboo and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we're going to feed you this narrative. You can't talk about it, but it's the only way you're valued.
Yeah.
Or it's the most of the way you're valued,
Yes.
especially as females.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And
with
it's gonna
females,
be-
you can't be taught about it. Don't talk about it.
Mhm.
We're not going to teach you about it.
Mhm.
And it's gross and bad, but it's the only way you're valued.
And it's the way you're going to spend your money. Like that's just how
Literally.
you're going to spend so much money and energy
Doing shit to make yourself like sexually viable. And it's like, why? Like we can fuck and have a good time regardless of how many fucking goddamn wrinkles I have on my head.
Right.
You don't have to procreate.
Right.
Sex is also fun.
Yeah.
And so, but I feel like we are at an impasse almost of like, I feel like our culture makes us forget that we're animals, and animals have to procreate. Like humans have to fuck each other, make more babies, or else the human race will cease to exist. But we've also evolved past that to a degree. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to have babies. But that doesn't make me less viable than anyone else. I can fucking ride a dick just as good as anyone else, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to birth your child. It also doesn't have shit to do with what the fuck my face looks like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I can't speak for my younger selves, but I think the one thing that we need to teach people to value is having sex with someone that wants you, like, gets off from you enjoying yourself. Like that is the goal.
Yeah, and like as an act of intimacy, not an act of procreation.
Yes, yeah.
And I do think that is tough because we are living, breathing, animalistic organisms, and those things exist to like continue. So there is an aspect to that, and that's why sexual education is important, because if you're not trying to procreate, there are things you have to do to like make that not happen or whatever. But yeah, it should be enjoyable for both parties, and I feel like there's some unevenness with women. I really do.
Yeah. I wonder if it needs to be like, I'm not saying it needs to evolve. It needs to evolve from what I'm saying, but it needs to, maybe would be a starting point, is like teaching or advocating for sex.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, but you know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean, because in the whole, like at the end of the day, the way you make more people is if a man has an orgasm, but doesn't, like, a woman doesn't have to have an orgasm to make a baby. And so I feel like even just by design, like somebody fucked up. It should be both.
Yeah, I agree. Why, God, don't give me more. Like, that's another rabbit hole I could go down.
I know. I'm just like, we can just leave it as simply that.
Yeah.
Like every time a human being is created, it's because a man had an orgasm. I would love to know the statistics of how many women have had an actual orgasm from how many motherfuckers exist.
Damn,
son. I guarantee you the percentage is very off.
Damn.
I do know that there's some research that says if a woman does reach orgasm, then allegedly maybe they'll get pregnant more, but
right. They don't even take the time to do the studies.
You don't even need to do that. They don't care.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't.
No. Don't apologize.
I don't know. I
hate, you know what? I'm going to stop saying stop apologizing, because people do that. And I mean, I'm speaking when I say people, I do that because I want the other person to be like, I don't know. It's a way to try to comfort someone else. But it's like, even then that makes it there's some kind of like assumed responsibility. Like by me saying don't do this, is still me trying to tell you what to do, or like influence your verb or word choiceage and what you just choose to say.
Yeah, and I was just saying sorry because I didn't mean to like get into it like that.
That's all this is, though.
I know. I apologize when I make things heavy.
Don't. Do whatever you want. If you
I shouldn't. No, you're not wrong.
I wish I could just say, I wish I could point out when someone apologizes for something like that without telling them to do something. I don't know how to do that, though.
I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do think we need to apologize less. Our thoughts are our thoughts, and if it's heavy, it's heavy. Like,
and if they fuck with us, they fuck with us.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they don't.
I think
I fuck with you.
Yeah, I know. You're a safe space, so I don't need to apologize to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Last episode we told our portal story.
Yeah.
And like while we were telling that story, we also were finding out that Velo was closing. And so we wanted
I even mentioned it.
Yeah, you did.
Because I heard mutterings just from people around town, and then I saw it on Reddit.
Yeah.
And then
that's so fucking sad.
This thing is not working. Okay.
It's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
I don't like. There's all these places around town that are closing, and a lot of them have really bummed me out. But for some reason, this one's fucking with me way worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like really attached to Velo.
Same, and it's for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
But it's like
It's not just because we opened a portal.
no. There's a reason why we did open a portal though. Like that place is magical for a lot of people, and I know like I don't know. I know that a lot of people would agree with us. And like I said, there's a lot of local spots that have closed that are equally magical for a lot of reasons. And people have found community and safe space and have had experiences and whatever in those places. And I respect the fuck out of it and whatever.
Yeah.
And I hate that all these places are closing
Yeah.
because I feel like what made Greenville is changing. And I feel like it is becoming so cemented and whitewashed and it's fucking gross and it makes me mad. But all that said, this one is like a gut punch.
Yeah. I mean, the birthday parties your mom has had like several.
So many of my family's
Yeah.
events have taken place in that
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And it used to be a spot for us. Like we used to go there all the time. It used to be a spot for when I was collaborating with Sam back in the day. That was all it was a creative hub for me. And the connections and friends and people and like I genuinely people that will forever be like part of the fabric of who I am have come from that place.
Yeah.
Truly.
And when food used to be good, like restaurant food used to be good, it was so good.
It was so good.
Those pimento cheese green tomato things.
The fucking falafel burger.
Ooh.
Their fucking French onion soup.
Potato tots.
Just the space in and of itself. Like you'd walk in there and you're like, okay, I'm good. I'm safe. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I think there was something to it, like it was kind of like a den. Like if you could go into a groundhog hole or something, there was something about it being like under, it was like in a belly. It was dark. It was safe. It was away from shit.
Yeah.
But it was also easily accessible.
Yeah. My problem with the Velo is as part of what's getting me, what I'm hung up on is it's connected to, like you said, the larger issue of like these really individual, like creative, like make Greenville spots dying. Like, Barley's, Red Ribbon.
Yep.
Like a bunch of fucking places.
Smiley's, Got Rocks.
Yeah.
Ties.
Handlebar, even when that happened.
Yeah.
That was a while back.
Yeah, but still.
My problem is the imbalance, like the amount of those places dying off and like new different versions of that sprouting up because like you said, there's not
them.
Yeah.
People can't afford to do it.
Yeah. And it's like, wow.
It's
like,
becoming
that's all
unaffordable.
I liked. That's all I liked about society. That's like all I liked about going out.
Is that you could go to a place where you're like, oh, these are like-minded people. They're just the
Yeah.
fucking homies that have a spot.
Yeah.
There's no more homie spots.
No. We went to dinner last night, my parents and my sister, and it was so like it was at that Judson Mill place. It was good food, like it was good food.
The Mill City thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so clean.
Yes.
And so like perfect.
Yeah.
And precise.
Yes.
And it is icky.
Yeah. Because those places don't have the history. Like all these places that have the history are dying.
Yeah. But I don't know if this is okay. So are we just blips on that timeline happening, playing out? Because there's places from our childhood that we feel nostalgic about and wish still existed and don't. So
I think it is that, and I think it's both. It is that, and
was there a balance, and now that balance is gone? Like there was those places, but there was still those landmarks. And now
think about what does that look like for you when you were a kid? Because for me, the only thing I can think of is like Pizza Hut. That's a chain. Pizza Hut still exists.
Okay, yeah, it might
we
be
can't
chains.
go to Pizza Hut.
Yeah. Is all Pizza Huts are dead?
No.
Oh.
But you can't go to a Pizza Hut and sit down under the fucking stained glass lamp and go to the bar that's covered in kale and like.
And it smells like cigarettes because you can still smoke.
Literally.
Yeah. Oh God, I miss that.
That was Pizza Hut. Like that's one of my. Like I can't. I mean, I'm sure there's some like the soda shop, for example, Northgate.
Okay.
If that shit closed, I'm gonna blow up this whole town.
It's going to though.
Bitch, shut the fuck up! Don't you dare say that. But do you feel what I'm saying? Like, it's places like that.
Yeah. I bet people felt that way about Charlie's. Wasn't that the Charlie's Steakhouse? Wasn't that like the longest running business in Greenville for a while?
It's not doing anything inside my brain right now.
I think it was in downtown, and like people avoided downtown.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
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 It was old. Now
Yeah.
it's not even.
Is it Ink and Ivy or?
Is across the street from it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that
Ink and Ivy used to be fucking Corner Pocket. Shout out Corner Pocket back in the day.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like all these, people aren't opening spots now. Like a lot of new spots are opening, but they're all these very like clean. It's not.
And they die. They
die quick.
So quick.
It's not these like tried and true, like, this is going to be a dive bar. This is going to be a fucking seedy place. Like, we need those.
And you're right. It is because it's a money thing. They can't afford to do that.
No.
You can't function as a business like that anymore.
No.
You have to be a chain. You have to have, you have to be generating revenue.
Or you have to be family friendly. Or you have to, cater to the people that have money. And the only people that have money now are like...
I'm telling you, those places are dying too. Remember that
The only people that have money now are people with like corporate jobs. And those people, their minds are being fucked because of it.
Yeah. Even that place that opened up, over near Travelers, and that house. It was like a. Fuck, we used to. Where'd it go? Didn't it like it was popping off? And then
it was like a farm to table thing. We used to do pasta for them.
Yeah.
Oak Hill.
Yeah, and so it's like, and
now it's a place called Heyday.
Yeah.
No offense to Heyday.
But is Heyday even doing well? I don't know.
It's not a place that I give a shit about going, but there's a lot of other places that are like that. Again, no offense to anything like that, but it's just not. It's not it.
Yeah.
That ain't it.
Yeah.
I need a spot.
We need spots. If you have any suggestions, please.
I'll make a spot, but I don't have the money for it.
Yeah, we need the money. We need the corporate people to give us money. The people that got that chain money, we need that chain money. And then we're going to open up a non-chain chain.
So depressing.
Chain.
Yeah, but that's just sad.
Where are you at in your period? Are you done? I'm done.
She's still lingering.
Yeah, we had our period at the same time. We're so special, sweet, and 20s. We on the same day. We were like, "It's time to be now. Here we go." Boop.
That literally happened the last time we hang out. All right, let's talk about this and call it. Okay. That's just weird. Because are you on a normal cycle? Like, are you every 28 days?
20. Yes, like clockwork.
Mine could not be more off.
Yeah.
And you know how you get really into your like phases and stuff like that? And I really tried to like be there with you. But what happens when like I had my period while I was at Halloween?
Yeah.
It stopped on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
So let me look at a calendar real quick.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I want to talk to you about this because you're right. The sporadic and like chaotic way yours is, like, how do you even know what phase you're in?
The last day of my period last month was October 25th. Mm-hmm. And then I started it. When did you start yours this last time?
The one we just had?
Mm-hmm.
We just had.
Yeah, the one that we just had.
What was it? Monday. It was Monday.
This past Monday?
Yeah.
So that is 1, 2, wait on.
But that's the same day you started, Monday, right?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 days instead of 28. And I'm still bleeding.
Right now?
I mean, it's like I don't have like a plug, but it's still a hint.
It's slowing down.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 16 versus 28. Where
and
are my
before
phases?
That, remember?
And I also have that PMDD shit.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter when my cycles come.
Yeah.
The week before, I'm fucking insane.
Yeah.
But if I can't, which the only way that I can combat that is to be able to know, okay, well, it's been this long, so I'm about to start my period.
Yeah. So you're like, what the fuck's going on? But
so in between those 16 days of the week before that, so I had 10 days of.
Okay, but tell me this: before the one you had at Halloween? Didn't you have it? You didn't have it for like 2 months, right?
Mm-mm.
Like it was long. There was a long stretch. You had
There
it for
wa-
a
it
long
was.
ass time.
Yeah.
And then it
then
stopped.
a couple times before that. And I know it's part of my perimenopause. I know that.
Yeah. So it's
But-
not just shorter. It's sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's everywhere.
Girl, that one time over the summer, I bled for like 2 months straight.
Yeah.
So what is happening to
Yeah.
me in my phases? Like, what are my hormones doing?
I don't fucking know, girl.
And how am I supposed to have any sense of like, what do I eat? How do I take care of myself? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
And who's teaching us about this? No one told me this shit was going to happen.
Yeah.
Even the day I had my period, like when I started it when I was 12 or whatever, I thought I had ass cancer or something. So I was ill prepared then. And then you just have it.
Yeah.
No one tells you, like, you know that you're going to go through menopause. You know, eventually you'll go through menopause and like it'll stop, but nobody tells you about this shit before it.
Yeah. There's no way to track it.
No, and if you're late, you're like, fuck, I'm pregnant. I'm like, no, that's not it.
I feel like the thing that you need to do then is, because you can't pinpoint certain parts, like when you're in there. So because you can't pinpoint certain pieces of it, you almost need the thing I would do is to figure out a baseline, like something where I'm at least hitting. I don't even know. I don't know how you would come up with a baseline.
Think about how much your cycle dictates your behavior and what you're doing and what you want to eat and how you feel and how you sleep and how you think and all of it. Your pheromones, like every literal thing.
Yeah.
Am I ovulating? What am I doing? Do I have any of those phases? Like, what is going on? What is happening?
Okay. You would almost need to, on a daily basis, this is what I would do. On a daily basis, make notes of certain things like that. Appetite, and you're almost going to have to like come out with like the average. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that just feels like so much fucking work.
I would do it for you if I could.
How? Can you just ask me questions? Just ask me questions. I'll tell you.
Okay. I'll come up with a series of questions to
All
ask
right.
you daily.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Done.
It'll be like appetite, energy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then I'm like, because one question I had, and then we can leave it. But like, if you have a tightened cycle like that, like if it's 16 days instead of 28, do you go through all those phases? They're just shorter, or do you skip some? Like,
That's what we got to figure out.
What's going on?
That's what we got to figure out.
Okay.
If it's diminishing them, or if it's like, or if you're skipping them entirely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because I've started to look into. I wanted to pay attention to having my period this week, like day to day, like how, like what's my, like the actual like blood flow like, but then also energy wise, like where am I at with it, like. And I came up with like a word for each day, to kind of summarize it. And I feel like the first day is like build up. Like I feel like I'm just like something's about to come. Like I almost feel like bloated.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, oh, I'm about to pop, girl.
Yeah.
And then that's when like the cramps start happening or whatever. Then the second day is like eruption. Like it's on, girl. That's when the period shits happen. That's when like it's just like, yeah, we're doing this thing.
Yeah.
Third day is like, I don't know about that third day. That third day is fucking weird because that's the day I bleed the most, and it's like clots, and it's like depleting. Like I just feel like I hate the third day of my period.
Yeah.
And then I immediately, like the fourth or fifth day, I feel like really empty, and then I start immediately, like it's almost like a light switch of like energy, everything. Like I feel like the hormonal shifts I have are just drastic.
And they're that way every single time. Like it's like that every single time.
Yeah, and it's like that throughout my period, like the other phases. Like all of my phases, whenever I'm going from like follicular to ovulation to luteal, like all I can pinpoint when those.
But it's the same each month. Like it's consistent.
Like how long they are, like how much time I'm spending in those phases. Yes. And then like I maybe I could be like, okay, I don't think I could do it by day, but I could be like 2 to 3-ish days, maybe guessing of when certain ones are going to happen. And then my thing is like, I feel upside down when it happens though. Like I don't like the shift is like the shift itself is like it's just like a lot for me to deal with.
I will tell you that I
wish it
knew,
was gradual.
yeah, I knew this period was coming, and I was like, what the fuck? Because I knew I just came off of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I could tell because it was like I felt unreasonably emotional about stuff, and like it was all like mood and like state of mind. I was like, something's fucked. Like, this is not how I normally feel. Like, this is fucked up.
Yeah, because you should be ovulating around that time.
Yeah, and then having fun because you're trying to get fucked and procreate.
Yeah.
Like, feel good.
Yeah,
and all
that's
that
the best
stuff.
time, girl.
No, and
I could bottle that shit. Ooh.
Literally the opposite experience, and I'm like, what? Am I just a bitch? Like, what the fuck is going on? And I kept saying it. I was like, I swear I'm about to start my period. It doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, it's been like a week and a half, and and then boom.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Well, let's.
You'll become my own personal period app.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Fuck you, China.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Oh, shit.
Well, we did it.
Let's touch.
I love you.
I love you.